RJ Kielty, plumbing, heating, cooling, celebrating 15 years of bringing comfort to you. Feeling realty, call RJ Kielty, they'll get your system working to cool you down. And if fixing a leak is what you seek, RJ Kielty service is the best around. RJ Kielty, plumbing, heating, cooling, over 50 years of bringing comfort to you.
Yeah, it seems like AI's picking up.
All right, welcome to episode 41 of Kielty's Corner, and we have a pretty good, big guy next to me. He makes me look really small. He said he's 6'7", but he tries not to tell people that. 6'6". Marcus Applefield here with A, former NFL player, B, prospect performance.
Yep.
And I guess let's start with that. Prospect performance, being in the NFL, and then, kind of guide me through what made you start prospect performance.
I guess a very quick and brief testimonial. Originally from Weeki Wachee.
Okay.
Went to Weeki Wachee High School as an underprivileged youth kid. I was actually on one of the first episodes on Beyond Scared Straight. You know where they take
I didn't know that.
It was like a trial episode. So I wasn't a very good kid.
Yeah.
AKA. That kind of straightened me up going into high school.
Mm-hmm.
I decided I want to play
How old
sports.
were you when that happened?
What was that? Seventh grade or sixth grade or something like that.
Really?
Yeah, 6th or 7th grade. They told me I was going on a field trip. I was ecstatic. I was like, oh my God, I'm going on a field trip. I bring that permission slip home. Of course I forge it,
Yeah.
Hey, my mom signed this. Bring it to school the next day, hop on the bus to go on the field trip. I look at the bus and it's just like every bad kid in the school. And I'm like, I think I'm on the wrong bus. I turn around, school resource deputy pulls my backpack, pulls me back in. And then we headed to the Hernando County jail. And then they started the little Beyond Scared Straight program.
Oh, wow.
But, yeah, that kind of set my eyes straight going into sports, I guess. Kind of made me realize, like, hey, that's not what I want to do.
Mm-hmm.
And then my two options after that was like, hey, I need to go into the military or sports. That's the two things where I'm going to get out of Weeki Wachee or this lifestyle that I was currently in. Ended up being a pretty highly recruited recruit out of Weeki Wachee High School. Ended up with over 40 Division I scholarships. So kind of got to pick where I wanted to go. I was actually committed to James Franklin. He was the Penn State head coach at the time.
Yeah.
He left, he was Vanderbilt.
Yeah.
I was committed to Vanderbilt. He left, went to Penn State. I didn't want to go to Penn State because they had all those sanctions.
Yeah.
Went to Rutgers University. Greg Schiano was the head coach.
Okay. Wow. Cool.
Yep. So I went to Rutgers, got my bachelor's there in criminal justice. I was a team captain, Big Ten All-American, all that good stuff. But we just weren't winning enough games at the time, and I wanted to get another degree from a different school. Transferred to the University of Virginia in the ACC.
Yeah.
Got my master's in psychology, and then went as an undrafted free agent to the Ravens. Signed with the Ravens in the 7th round during the draft. I had a few teams interested in me, so that's the good thing about being an undrafted guy is you get to pick where you want to go.
Yeah.
The only thing you don't get is that signing bonus.
Oh,
not the first or second round signing bonus, that is. A lot of people are surprised, but every rookie in the NFL makes the same salary. The only difference is that signing bonus.
I didn't know that either.
Yeah, a lot of people don't know that. Well, obviously, there's different incentives, and now things have changed a little bit. But yeah, a lot of people are surprised to hear that everybody gets paid the same for the first 3 years until you get that.
And then it's just is that signing bonus like you get it for 3 years, like every year, or you just get a lump sum?
It depends.
Yeah. Okay.
But yeah, usually you'll get that lump sum.
Yeah.
But it depends on everybody's contract. Everyone is a little different. Yeah, mine was 20 grand. The first rounders is a couple million. But yeah, ended up playing a few seasons for the Baltimore Ravens. Had a career-ending back injury. Came home, kind of had to decide what I wanted to do. There is we'll call it an epidemic of players when they get done with their sport having this crisis of identity crisis.
Yeah.
During my time in the NFL is when players were taking knees for police brutality and all things of that nature. I was one of those players. And of course, during that time, you get people that say, hey, how about you go out there and do it? How about you go out and try it? So I knew from that point, as soon as I got out of the NFL, I was going to join a police academy.
Okay.
So that's what I did. I joined the Hillsborough County Sheriff's Office, stayed with them for a little over 2 years, ended up on their street crimes, gang and narcotics unit. Met my wife, had a baby. My wife yelled at me that what I was doing was too dangerous because I was doing
Probably right.
some inner city Tampa things, you know.
Yeah.
Focused on how I could make the best impact on my community after that, and it was developing athletes. You know, so I opened up a simple speed and strength program for all the local athletes, trying to keep it as affordable as possible, thinking about what I could have afforded when I lived in this community. Um, Mostly football players because of my background. So we had, you know, hundreds of football players training daily. And then other sports started to hear about us because nothing that we do on a daily basis is really football specific.
Yeah.
Everything is speed, power, strength, and explosiveness. Other sports started hearing about it. Baseball players started coming, hockey players, volleyball, lacrosse, kind of everybody and anybody. And then parents started asking, like, hey, you know, are you guys going to do a baseball team or a 7-on-7 football team, or are you guys going to do travel basketball? And since then, you know, we've started the baseball organization, and then next door to you, the basketball facility.
Yeah.
So that's kind of how it grew and where it started. And yeah, we're excited on just the brand's growth. The number one thing that we do is development.
Yeah.
You know, usually when you join a travel team, you pay for the uniforms and you go play in games.
Yeah.
You know, to where as with us, you're going to get speed and strength sessions. You're going to get your skill sessions. You're going to learn about the nutrition. We're going to step into that recruiting process for you once they get to high school, especially now.
Really, that's cool.
Oh yeah. I mean, the recruiting waters now that NIL is in the picture, now that transfer portals are in the picture. That's what I serve to my parents. They've got my personal phone number. Hey, what are good camps to go to? How should I message these college coaches? That's kind of my bigger role within Pasco and Hernando County is, I mean, I'm getting those questions all day, every day. So, and then obviously when it comes to nutrition and everything off the field, if they decide not to play in college after their career, we're going to help them do whatever they want next. You know, so however we can help these athletes in the community stay, you know, and be either really good parts of this community or good parts of another one. That's what we're here to do.
Yeah, I love that. I see that my friends in the military or like, you know, sports, obviously you at the highest level, your mind is set on one thing for so long. And then when you get done with it, you're like, what do I do? I love where you put your money where your mouth is and you're like, I'm going to become a cop. You know what I mean? And, you know, try to make it better or whatnot, you know?
And really quick on the Hillsborough County Sheriff's Office, it was an amazing experience.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it's one of the best sheriff's offices in the state. Never had a bad experience there. Everybody was good. Whereas going in, I thought it wasn't going to be like that.
Yeah.
So yeah,
you got to see both sides of the coin there. Yeah.
Exactly.
You know,
got to see both sides.
Yes. I got a lot of friends that are police officers and yeah, it's the same thing. And they have narcotics, and I've known somebody in narcotics and stuff too. That's a tough job, you know what I mean? But it's also, they love it. They're kind of, you know, exactly. Crazy enough to love it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So prospect performance.
So it's prospect performance, prospect baseball, and prospect basketball.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you guys kind of focus a lot on the fundamentals though, right? Especially with like performance, not just like, hey, hitting, I want to go there and I'm on the prospect baseball side. You're also going to work on, you know, speed and strength and everything else.
The baseball players will see me personally 3 times a week.
Okay.
Or 1 time a week. Every team is going to see me.
Okay.
You know, yeah, I mean, I think there is a little bit of an issue with specialization within youth sports right now. You know, like if you have a quarterback, you're taking your son to a quarterback trainer 3 or 4 times a week. And now that's fantastic. He has this perfect fundamentals, but now his shoulders are hurting. He can't produce force from the ground to throw the ball. He's not strong. He's injury prone. And that's a really big thing we're seeing is specialization way too early.
Yeah.
And you probably saw it in high school, right? Where you played whatever sport, and then some guy that was just an athlete came along his junior or senior year and took somebody's spot.
Yep.
Because he's an athlete.
Yep.
Because he's strong, because he's fast, because he's explosive.
Yep.
Athletes will always be able to adapt to a sport rather than a sport adapting to an athlete. You know,
I always just like playing a bunch of sports. So I captain of the football
Yeah,
team.
multi sports will fill that
yeah,
gap.
and I'm trying to tell my son that as well. Oh, I just want to play football, or or just soccer, or we're getting them into hockey and stuff. I'm like, all these other sports are going to help you become better at that sport. And then training the fundamentals, you could have, like you said, somebody specialized that does it all day long, but then you get a guy that's just a natural, and he may just be natural, but a lot of it is he puts extra work in other ways. You know what I mean? So, but
you'd be surprised how many of these specialization players, whether it be baseball, basketball, football, how they can't run or even walk correctly. So they come to me, and you could sling that ball 70 yards, or you can pitch a freaking 70-mile-per-hour fastball, but you don't know how to run. So that's a big issue.
Yeah. I've literally seen people that in baseball.
Yeah.
We have Jesse here, but yeah, people that they hit good, and then you see them run the first base, and you're like, what the heck is going on?
And then getting away from, I feel like football is the one kind of sport that really embraces the speed and the strength side of things.
I agree with that.
Baseball is really close. Basketball is a little further away.
Yeah.
But they don't realize when they get to college, a lot of those college speed and strength staffs, they coach every single team. You're not going to get one baseball specific guy, one hockey specific guy, one football specific guy. Speed strength is speed strength. Strength conditioning at the end of the day. So getting them to realize that getting stronger and faster is not going to affect their swing or their jump shot, and for them to understand that we're not bodybuilders and we're not power lifters. We're not here to look good, and we're not here to lift a lot of weight. We're here to perform on our field or court.
Yeah. I see it as like consistency and, like you said, endurance. If you're in basketball or baseball, you're hitting balls a lot. If you don't have that endurance, it doesn't matter if you don't, you know what I mean? It's going to help you, and you use your whole body. I know with baseball, your whole swing is not just you're moving the arms, you know what I mean? So like having that core, having everything is important, that a lot of people don't think about.
Parents ask me all the time. They're like, "Hey, is he going to have 300 pounds back squatting?" I'm like, "No, this isn't a weightlifting class. Like, that's not how." I mean, you probably see it right now. There's high schoolers in any sport that are so strong, they're so fast, and they just can't figure it out on their playing field. It's because they're probably doing things the wrong way. They're too focused on the weightlifting. They're too focused on looking good and having the six packs. Even on the baseball side of things, baseball is probably the one sport where you're like, holy cow, I don't see nobody on the field looks like really fit.
Yeah,
but those guys can freaking dive in on a ball.
Yeah, I know.
They can pitch over 100 miles per hour. So that's what you need to work on, the performance side of things. If I brought one of my group classes to a crunch or EOS, we would look like we have three heads, for the stuff that we do. Everything is just unconventional to that community. So yeah, it's just got to teach them.
Yeah. So I'm a parent. I have a kid. What age should they kind of start thinking about? I mean, is it better younger? Is there a specific age group you're like, okay, well, this guy's muscle is, at this level or whatever, or what's your thoughts on that?
Yeah. I mean, for our facility, in general, we're ages 8 and up.
Okay.
But if you're a parent that just wants to get them active before coming to us, and that's something I'm trying to work on right now, some type of program to get the younger athletes into us so we can kind of transition them a little faster. Well,
also, you don't want to babysit too, because it's going to take away from other people.
Exactly. We want everyone locked in. So yeah, that age 8 is just kind of where we're at right now. But no, absolutely. I mean, obviously it depends on how you're doing things. Like, you shouldn't be putting your 7-year-old on a barbell back squat or anything like that. But there's plenty of foundational movements that seem so simple that you can do, I mean, as simple as running up a hill. That's one of the most effective things that you can do. And the less teaching, the better. Just put them in successful positions and let them be athletes at that age. I mean, with new strength conditioning coaches all the time, they talk about all these scientific terms that we learn, front side mechanics and backside mechanics and ankle dorsiflexion and plantar flexion and all this stuff. I'm like, bro, an 8-year-old's not going to
know.
I'm like, put him on a hill and make him run. And that puts him in a successful position, and he'll be doing things the right way. So yeah, simple things around the house: body weight movements, plyometrics, plyometrics, jumping. People don't know there's a difference between plyometrics and jumping, but that's another conversation. But yeah, plyometrics, jumping, body weight stuff, putting them in those successful positions and as naturally as possible. Yeah. But
so then my next question. So I'm a parent and I have 12-year-old. I'm coming in and say it's for baseball. How is there like packages like one day a week? Is it multiple days a week? They see you and then they maybe see Jesse, or like how does that, I guess, flow?
Yeah, with Jesse right now, we only see the travel teams.
Yeah.
But I know.
So it's a whole team will come in.
Yep, the whole team.
Okay, that's cool. So it's extension of a practice kind of a thing. Instead of going to the field, we're gonna go there. That's pretty cool.
They get once a week at a field. They get once a week in the indoor facility, either batting or pitching or catching, and then they get once a week with me.
Okay.
Yeah, so I like having the teams because now we can teach mentality, teamwork, all the things of that nature. A lot of people look at all these college programs and they're like, man, this head coach is doing a really good job. The head coach ain't doing that.
Yeah.
It's the strength and conditioning staff.
Yep.
The strength conditioning staff is who's with your team every day. Even on my side, if an athlete's coming to me, the football coach is with them once a week, or the basketball coach or the baseball coach.
I was just going to ask that. That's
They're
good.
with
So
me
you're
3 times
yes.
a week,
Okay.
right? So it's my
That's
obligation to instill that guidance and mentorship, to make sure they're locked in at the right times, to make sure their hands are in their pockets, to make sure that when they walk in that door, that their attitude's right. It's my job to make sure how good their school day went, how bad their school day went, to lift that confidence up, to make sure they're flexing in the mirror at some point,
Yeah.
So confidence, mentorship, and just that whole side of things, it's something that's completely, not looked at enough.
Yeah.
So I mean, that's a main reason why people come to us. Is for
It's just not. Yeah. I mean, the other stuff, that matters, and that's what you're there for. But like mindset too, to be in the NFL, you have to have, like you said, you could have all the talent in the world, you could be biggest, but if you don't have the right mindset, I mean, that means everything.
So in regards to the training, if you're just any sport player and you want to come train with me in our weight room and on our speed work, we have monthly options and we have punch card options. If you want to come if you want to come twice a week, 3 times a week, or 4 times a week, there's options for that. Or if you just want to say, hey, I want to buy 5 classes and use them as I want, there's spots for that too. Yeah, that was my most important thing as I do anything, right? Even with this podcast, how is this going to help my athletes?
Yeah.
Will this benefit them in any way? When I talk about my pricing, how will this benefit my athletes? Can this help them? Is this going to hurt them? So anything that we do it will always be athlete based.
I love that. And if you stick to that wholeheartedly, then everything else will come. You know what I mean? That's I put my people and I put my customers in that same light, that if I focus on them, solving solutions for them, giving them a good place to work, everything else, you have a good employee that's going to be happy to work there and they're going to take care of your customer. And it's the same thing with an athlete. You have, what people need, you offer the service, you follow through with it, you do a good job and wholeheartedly. And
that's why when we host any type of camps, I know Jesse has his camp coming up this Friday. When we host camps, people know that it's going to be great. That they know what to expect because they know what type of people are in the building. I've got a few coaches on staff, and we don't need cleaners because we all take care of each other and everybody respects the facility. Even the players, before they walk out, they're looking on how they can clean the facility. And hopefully that adapts to being in their house. And picking up after themselves and things of that nature. But just taking care of people and they'll take care of you. I think that's the most important thing and biggest thing that we'll do.
Yeah, actually, so my a good friend of mine, Mike Gregory, he's the coach at Tampa Catholic. And he was talking the same thing about strength and conditioning. He just got a guy in that's like a master C, whatever. What's the terminology for it? To like your guys's CSCS,
strength conditioning.
Yeah. And he knows the guy. He coached at Georgia Tech. And he knows the guy, and he's like, "Man, I'm so lucky to get this guy." I guess the guy just wanted to move back and doesn't really need the money or whatever. but he was talking to me as well about how important that role is, and they kind of get overlooked so much, I think that's probably why Florida State, my team, hasn't been good because we look a little weak.
If you look at any program, the person who sets the standard or mentorship
Mhm.
or culture for your program, it's that staff.
Mhm.
So the first place you need to look is
Yeah.
at your strength and conditioning staff.
Mhm.
That's who's with your team every
Yeah.
day.
You're exactly right. And he talked about setting the tone, and they get in there, the guy's just like, so positive, it's contagious, you know what I
Yep.
mean? And uplifting everybody, getting them to push themselves. So,
Absolutely.
you know what I mean? Exactly. That's what matters the most. If you don't have that right foundation,
Yeah. So yeah, just teaching parents and players in the community about what a strength condition and number one, the difference between a private trainer or a what are they called? Just yeah, they're just called private trainers, and then a
Mhm.
strength conditioning
Yeah.
coach. The certifications in and of themselves are wildly different.
Mhm.
I couldn't if my mother wanted to come and train with me and said, "Hey, I want to lose weight," could I help her?
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's gonna look much different the way
Yeah.
I help her.
You're not geared towards that. You're
No,
specialized in the helping
yeah,
the athletes. Yeah.
athletes, group training, speed, explosiveness, fast twitch muscle fibers, making
Mhm.
making sure we're hitting everything. When it comes to hypertrophy, if a bodybuilder came to me, I can't help him.
Yeah.
My bro, I can make you fast and strong.
Yeah.
I don't know how to make you look good.
Yeah.
You know, but yeah, I mean that's the difference between a personal trainer and a strength conditioning coach.
Mhm.
So there's plenty of people that are personal trainers out there that will go to a field, throw a ladder and cones out,
Mhm.
and it's okay. Something is better than nothing, but you definitely want someone that's rock solid in what they do.
Yeah. And like you said, there's more to it too. I mean, creating that mentorship, that's going to push people, and creating that respect
Mhm.
between each other is going to push people. That's,
Oh yeah, yeah. We have something outside of our door called the Thought Box. Um, it's something that I did at our team did at Rutgers, and the Thought Box is essentially before you walk in the door, grab your thoughts, throw it in this box. It's just a chalk
Mhm.
ball, so that when you walk in that door, the only thing you're thinking about is getting better.
Mhm.
Can we help you with your bad day at school, your good day at school, your girlfriend broke up with you, or anything of that nature?
Mhm.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Or if you're having trouble with college coaches or getting that scholarship,
Mhm.
but we want you locked in for that work that we're about to do.
Yeah. You want to get that junk out of your mind, and that
Yep.
sometimes that's the best therapy.
Yep. Yep.
Going out
Exactly.
there, and you're at the end of it, you're like, man, I feel good now. You know
Yep,
what I
that's
mean?
the
You turn
goal.
somebody around.
Yep.
I notice if I work out in the morning, the rest of my day, stressors don't really stress me as much because,
Yep.
I kind of have a capsule around me that, stuff doesn't bug me as much.
Oh yeah, same
Yeah.
here. Yeah, and I make sure if I go to a public gym, I wear my big old headphones.
Hmm.
And
Hmm.
that's church to me.
Yeah.
I'm getting it all out.
Hmm.
So yeah, it's very important.
Yeah.
Oh, what was
I'm
that?
sorry, Brooke. I haven't.
no,
Brooke asked me
You're
questions
good.
either.
We have a lot here. Okay, so let's see. Megan Chappell said we love Marcus and everything he creates for the athletes in our community. And then Thomas Holcomb said, "Let's get it." And then Nikki Burke had a couple questions, and I think you already answered these, but she said, "This is awesome. How young do you recommend starting? And do you offer small group or private lessons, or is it just teams?"
Yeah, we do small group and private lessons
Mhm.
pretty often. And then the only teams that we do are, if a girls flag football team contacts me, I'll contact the coach and we'll get them in on whatever day they're available. So we do have, the team small groups. Obviously we have the travel ball teams coming in, but yeah, when we're free and we have that time, we do small groups and privates all the time. And thank you, Megan.
Yeah. Megan's awesome. All those guys are awesome. We know them all.
Mhm.
Mentors. So I know for you to be able to mentor people the way you do, you probably had maybe multiple mentors, but you had mentors along the way. Can you
Yeah.
speak on that?
Yeah, 100%. I'd say, well, I grew up in a household with a single mother. Me and my brother had different dads. Both of our dads were in prison at the
Mhm.
time. Um, I have a great relationship with my dad now that he's out of prison. Um, and I'd say that he is probably one of my biggest mentors. I feel like he's one of the wisest men I know right now. So I go to him quite a bit. But in high school, I'd say it was my high school head coach,
Mhm.
Mark Lee. He
Mhm.
is the athletic director at Crystal River right now.
Oh, really?
Yep, he just got back from the XFL. he was assistant coaching with Anthony Beck with the Battle Hawks. Anthony Beck was also one of my mentors in high school and college. He also he was an ESPN announcer. He called a bunch of my college games. So that was really cool that one of my mentors could call my games.
That is really cool.
Yeah. So I'd say those are probably the two people in high school and college was Mark Lee and Anthony Beck that kind of helped me shape who I am. Obviously, Mark Lee in high school brought me to all the football camps and showed me about the recruiting process and all that good stuff. So yeah, Mark Lee and Anthony Beck. And now I'm able to have that growing everlasting relationship with my father. And he
that's awesome. So
wiser than his years. So
yeah. So he changed the ways he was doing stuff. And
oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
He owns a furniture moving company, Applefield's Delivery and Moving, here in Port Richey. And he's awesome. Yeah,
that's what life is about,
Yep.
you know. That's awesome.
Yep.
I want to kind of. Oh yeah, let's throw some photos up here.
Oh, in regards to, I think we brushed on it a little bit. How early can they start training? Yeah, I guess it's kind of like a loaded question, because it depends on how you're doing it and what you're doing. But I have a 2-year-old. I train with her.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we have Animal Mondays to where our program is imitating animals. We do crab walks, we do bear crawls, we do frog jumps. I'll put her on the balance beam and I'll throw little stuffed animals at her and she'll have to dodge them, So
that's awesome.
little things like that are naturally induced. In my mind, that's a strength conditioning program.
Yeah.
That's also something that they might even do at gymnastics. And all that good
I was about to say, just that balance. A lot of people don't.
Yeah.
They forget. Again, football or whatever. You're worried about strength or whatever, and balance a lot of times is more important than anything.
Yeah, I mean, I go through all the factors with my daughter. We hit deceleration. I make her run as fast as she can, and then I drop a stuffed animal and she has to stop.
Yeah.
We'll do acceleration. I make her run from point A to point B. We'll do bear crawl. But all of it's fun to her.
Yeah.
It's just her and dad playing.
Yeah.
And then she'll get on my back and and she has to ride a bull. And now she's working core stabilization because she doesn't know it.
Yeah.
She's having just a fun time with dad. So I mean, I have a 2-year-old working out right now.
I have a 2-year-old daughter too. So if she ever gets in flag football or whatever, let me know.
And then I have a 10-month-old son taking his first steps right around today and yesterday, really. Waiting on him to walk. But
get him, I'm sure.
We'll get him going as soon as possible too on simple little things like that. So when it comes to like, hey, when can they start training? I'm like, I'm already training. She's 2,
Yeah, exactly. You have a responsibility as a parent to help train too. You can't just put it, you know what I mean?
And speaking on that, I mean, I know when my son gets to high school, even though I played in the NFL, let's say he does play football, if he decides to play it, I can't train him.
Yeah.
I
have that same problem.
It doesn't matter your experience, your dad or your mom, whatever comes out one ear or whatever goes in one ear is coming out the next with them. So I get those parents all the time. I get the coaches and the strength conditioning coaches. I get all those people. But just due to the respect of what I do, and they have that agreement of what I do, they send them to me.
Yeah.
So yeah, I know I'll have to find that person for myself too, with my son and my daughter, because they're not going to listen to me.
I have the same thing because they play flag football and stuff, so I try to go out there and again talk about like that first step, how important it is, and everything else, and kind of goes in one ear out the other, and start fighting a little bit.
30 seconds, and it all makes sense now. I'm like, yeah, your dad's been telling you that for like months.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So I'll get parents that text me all the time, like, hey, can you just tell little Jimmy this? And I'm like, yeah, no problem. Send me his number, I'll throw him a text.
Yeah.
And now little Jimmy's like, and your parents like, oh, thanks. Now he knows what he's doing. I'm like, and I mean, that's the least I could do, But yeah, that's just how it goes. That's how I was. I didn't have obviously that relationship with my dad, but even with my older brother, he would tell me to do things in one ear out the next.
Yep.
Nobody knows better than you.
Yeah, exactly.
Especially when you hit that, like, I feel like 10, 11, 12, 13 age. Yeah, you can't tell them any better. So,
yeah, my oldest son, he thinks he's like 15 or whatever already, and he's 7, and he's just
oh yeah.
But I will say, because I'm coaching a a flag football team with them, which God, man, I kind of got conned into it, but because I'm on the sideline yelling. I'm one of those dads, you know. And he is actually listening a little bit and wanting me to coach. I'm like, no, I'm here coaching everybody. I'm like, I did this for you, but I'm you know what I mean? This is not, not about you. I got to coach everybody,
Yeah, youth
I'm able to push
youth
them that
sports
way.
in general are hard, so it's good when parents like you step up, but yeah, it's really difficult to watch them youth sports sometimes, certain leagues and teams, and obviously I'm as biased as it gets. I don't coach anywhere. I'm not affiliated with any organization, so I hear and see everything and anything under the sun.
Yeah.
The things I see in the youth sports world
it's
can
crazy.
be wild.
Compared to when we were there, so I play hockey, and I was at in Wesley Chapel. I played a game, and it was actually on like a Saturday to move our games or whatever. And then they had the kids after, and they were probably I don't know 8U or something like that. And the stands are full. It's in the Busch Gardens one. So, I mean, the stands are full of people. They got flags. Everybody's yelling, screaming, yelling at the coach, yelling at the players and stuff like that. And I'm like, what's one of the parents? I'm like, this must be a competitive, like a tournament or something like that. And
national
people,
elite.
blah, blah, blah. They're like, no, this is just a regular rec game. I go, I don't know if I want to be a coach.
This is pool play.
I'm like, which helps you guys there. I think parents want to invest in their kids a little bit more with sports and stuff like that nowadays. But I'm like, oh my gosh, like these parents are getting a little bit, crazy.
Yeah.
So I'm sure you probably see a little bit of that too.
Yeah, even with our travel basketball that's getting up and running right now, it's been a goal for us to keep the parents out of the coaching aspect.
Yes. I think it's setting expectations right away.
Yeah.
With them too, hey, little Billy needs to play more or whatever else.
Obviously, it is really nice and really convenient when parents are already around. They're going to be at the tournaments. They also might be really good coaches.
Yeah.
But you might get other parents that say, hey, you hear that daddy ball term all the time.
Yeah.
Oh, daddy ball. Even if that player is really problematic, is most likely the best player on the field anyway.
Yeah.
But that's just another issue that's, run into all the time.
Yeah. So that you guys try to create that separation, right?
Yeah.
Exactly. I love that.
And if it is a dad, just put him on a different team.
Yeah.
And as a dad, I feel like you don't always want to be coaching your son. There needs to be that drop off at some point, to where just to see if he's actually coachable. You've been coaching your son all the way up until high school, and now he gets to high school and now he's struggling because you've been the only coach he has. There needs to be adversity. I mean, that's my number one goal at the facility, is to make sure everyone loses. Yeah. Because I get some really elite
get them to that breaking point. Yeah.
That have never lost a flag football game. I'm like, well, you're about to walk in these doors and lose today. Yeah. And see how you deal with that. So yeah, losing is so important. When our basketball team goes to their first tournament, I hope they all get blown out. Now we know how we need to get better. Now we know what we needed to work on. Now we know what our coaches need to do. Now we can enhance things. If you're just winning all the time, there's no room for improvement. Yeah. Or you're just in the wrong league.
Yeah. We see that a lot of times with teams that just win, and then they, nobody really stays on top because they, you know what I mean? You're not pushing yourself to get better. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Or, and especially in the sports world, they'll throw together a super team of
10
kids. And those 10 kids play together forever. Yeah. But then the one kid from each team goes on other teams, and now they need to play a different role, or they're starting to lose games. And now just because they're losing the love of the sport, So
it shouldn't be like
adversity
that.
And teaching them how to, take the consequences, I guess you can call it, of losing and making it into a win is so important. Yeah. So I will make them lose at the facility, but I'll make sure they walk out a winner. Yeah. That's the number one thing, to make sure that, hey, bro, you're not a loser just because you lost. Yeah. If you're walking out of here and you're winning every day and everything's easy peasy lemon squeezy, I'm not doing my job. Yeah. And coaches should look at the same way.
And you're going to get to a point, whether, in college or, if you make it to the highest level, I mean, there's losing is part of the game. Yeah. And you better, and it's kind of just kick up. So you got to be mentally strong too. Exactly. Yeah.
And it gets worse and worse and more political and more political.
Yeah.
So the faster you can learn, the better.
Let it brush off your shoulder. Don't let it affect you. And just, you just look inside yourself, get better, move on, you know?
Yep. Control what you can control. That's all you
Exactly.
can do.
Mhm.
I mean, and they learn that throughout the college. I feel like that's kind of the really big eye opener for a lot of high school athletes, or I guess even those youth players, is when they get to high school, how that college recruiting world works and how
Yeah.
cutthroat it can be.
Yeah.
Then they're
Yep.
like, dang. And I feel like that it's also been a trickle down effect. They see what's happening in the college and the NFL world, and all of those actions and the stress is getting added to the youth world.
Mhm.
You
I
know, so
believe
they're like,
that.
we need to go right now because kids are getting offered in freaking middle school and on all
Yeah.
this. And you could just see the stress getting down past to the youth sports, and the parents get this fear of missing out. You know, I get asked all the time from a mom last night, actually, right? She says, hey, I was talking to two moms and their kids are going to this camp and that camp and that camp. I'm like, don't worry about those camps.
Mhm.
I understand that you have the fear of missing out and you want your son to go and to have this exposure.
Mhm.
Those camps don't matter.
Yeah.
Like, text me. I'll let you know what camps matter, which
Mhm.
camps don't, you know? So you can see parents are getting stressed, you know?
Because I'm sure there's money in those camps. So, you know,
Yeah,
there's probably
yeah,
more and more camps now.
yeah.
You
I
know?
mean, yeah, and depending on the sport, depends on which camps are good and which camps
Yeah.
not. But in the football world, college camps are good, you know?
Yeah.
In the wrestling world, those big tournaments are good, you know?
Mhm.
So yeah, and every sport is a little bit different. I'm even learning about the tennis world a little bit
Yeah.
right now.
All right.
We have
Yeah.
a couple travel tennis teams and
Mhm.
stuff like that. But yeah, I can definitely see the pressure, the fear of missing out, and I think that is a really big root cause of youth sports.
Mhm.
You know, because these parents they're just freaking out a little bit.
Yeah. And then the kids feel like they're a failure kind of a thing.
Yep.
Yeah.
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 Um,
A lot more stress
yeah.
that the kids really don't need, you know?
Yeah. At the end
Or
of the day,
parents, really.
at that youth level, just make sure they're loving it.
Mhm.
Make sure they're loving it. If they're not loving it, then they're not going to want to go to practice. You're going to be
Yeah.
dragging them. You
Yeah.
know.
They're not going to be put the effort in, you
Yep.
know?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So that's my goal is, and I get those players all the time. Hey, you know, they had a horrible season last year. The relationship with the coach wasn't where he wanted it to be,
Mhm.
and I don't know if he wants to play anymore. I'm like, just get him into the facility, get him around other athletes that want to be here, that
Mhm.
want to get better. Once you put your player in that environment and that vibe, all of a sudden it starts to come back.
Mhm.
You know, and then hopefully they can go into the next season and pick things up. I've seen the same exact thing the following season. Hey, same coach, bad relationship again.
Mhm.
Well, let's just assess and see what we can do different and control what we can control.
Yeah,
You know,
exactly.
but at least we can give you this environment and still bring that love for your game back.
Mhm.
You know, so keeping that love for the game is very important. Simply even calling players by their names when they
Yeah.
walk in the facility. They
Mhm.
go to practice
Yeah.
and their name has never been said.
Yeah.
You know, I have a parent that comes up to me all the time. I don't know if he knows my son's name or my daughter's name. You know, and that's a really big thing. I push with all my coaches. Like, hey, if you're coaching, number one, you need at least 3 coaching points for every athlete that's doing
Mhm.
something in here today. And then during those coaching points, call them by their names.
Mhm.
It's more important than people think.
Mhm.
Not just the coaching world, but even just the regular world. You know,
Yeah.
in college, we were had to know the name of our janitors and our cleaning crew and all the staff in the facility.
I
Um,
like that.
Very important to have those relationships. You know, everyone has a job,
Mhm. Yeah, it's
and
true.
every job's important.
It's a big wheel, and everybody's got to grease it
Yep,
to make it
exactly.
keep moving.
Yep. So yeah, just simple things. I call them players by their names, asking them how their day was. You'd be surprised these youth, 9-year-olds, 8-year-olds, they never get asked how their day was.
Mhm.
You know, they
Mhm.
need a debrief too.
Yeah, they probably need more than anybody else,
Yeah,
you know?
yeah, yeah. So, I'll ask them, as we're warming up, what was your favorite class today? What was your, what's your favorite class in general? Who's going to win the Super Bowl?
Mhm.
Just little conversations like that, and then obviously it gets down and dirty to me, yelling at them a little bit here and there, but having fun at the same time. But yeah, I think I'm one of the more disciplinary coaches in my staff. But that's the beauty. When my coaches coach with me, I make sure that everyone's a little different.
Mhm.
I don't want everybody to be like me.
Mhm.
So they can have their favorites if they need. If I'm the favorite, hey, then fantastic.
Yeah, exactly.
But I'm going to give them an aspect that they need,
Mhm.
not that they want.
Yeah.
Um,
And
So,
I think in the end, it's tough. The same kind of aspect happened with my dad. Like he was always really tough on me, put me in stressful situations, pushing me. But in the end, shoot, when I was real young, I was doing rough ends and digging while all my friends are having fun and
I'm
in
scared
summertime,
I'm scared of that. If I end up coaching my son, like when we get home, when does dad turn on?
Yeah. Mhm.
So I feel like I can kind of take over that role for so many
Mhm.
dads. Like,
Mhm.
bro, I'll be the hard ass for you.
Yeah.
Like I'll
Mhm.
do that for you. I don't mind. So
Mhm.
you can go home and be dad.
Yeah.
If we have an issue at school, let me know.
Yeah.
If
I'll see if I can take care of it. Yeah.
exactly, and then you can kind of treat me like mom treats you. Like,
Mhm.
oh, hey, I'll let Coach Marcus know and he'll take care of it.
Yep.
The
enforcer.
Yeah, because that's exactly the enforcer. Because that's one thing. If I end up coaching my son's teams, like on the car ride home, I've seen the dads ripping their son still, but and then at home, but like at some point, dad switch has to turn on, and you have to be a nice, sweet dad.
Yeah.
And
My dad was pretty good at that, but he would,
pretty good.
yeah. So I was always the guy that was like try hard, and you know
Yeah.
what I mean. And I would, just full throttle all the time. And my brother, this is in reference to hockey. My brother is more of the finesse. When he had the puck, he was good, but he wasn't gonna back check and stuff like that. So my dad, on the way home, we, leaving a tournament or something like that, he'd be on my brother's butt.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. Those
Like,
car
what are you
rides
doing
are
out
fun,
there?
boy.
You're just skating around, you know?
What am I paying this money for?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
Yeah, so dads have utilized me in that nature as well,
Mhm.
to kind of have those conversations with. But obviously, sometimes it means more from me. Sometimes it means more from dad, depending on the subject. Yeah, I get those small little texts all the time, like you were saying earlier. Hey, bro, like,
I
get your
love
grades
that.
up,
Yeah, hey, can you,
Yeah. So I'd say 80% of what I do is that mentorship in the
Mhm.
facility. And the 20% is making them faster and stronger. That's the easy part.
Yeah.
They're going to get
Mhm.
faster and stronger in there.
Mhm.
Changing their mindset and their habits that's the hard part.
Yep.
But I've had players walk in day one. That's how it usually goes. They walk in, they see this big old tattooed guy. This dude's 6'7" tattooed. He's yelling at me.
Yeah.
And they're quiet. And
Mhm.
then week 3, week 4, week 5, I can't get the kids to shut up.
Yeah.
But I'm like, dang, this is what I'm training him for. I want him to be confident.
Mhm.
He's freaking. I can't, coach. Got to take my shirt off. Got flips in the mirror. I'm
Yeah.
like, yeah, bro, take your shirt
Go
off.
for
flips
it.
in the mirror. Because 3 weeks ago you didn't. You were pulling your shirt down when we did jumping jacks.
Yeah.
We don't do jumping jacks.
Yeah.
But yeah, just changing that mindset. So I love to see that growth. That's my payday.
Mhm.
That's my payday in a
Mhm.
youth player. My payday for the high school players is sending them off to college.
Yeah.
My payday for the college players is when they come back and train with me for the NFL Combine or for their professional sports league. So when they come back to me, when I can still mentor them, even when they're done with sports, that's my payday.
Mhm.
Just like I still talk to all my college coaches. I've played recently enough that all my college coaches are still coaching.
Mhm.
So yeah, my O-line coach at Rutgers just took the UCF job.
Really?
So
Yeah.
I'll be taking all my guys and
Mhm.
taking them to UCF.
Mhm.
And
Get
that's
that
really cool to
experience.
see that full circle,
Mhm.
And then hopefully when all my players are dads, they're bringing all
Yeah.
their sons to me,
Mhm.
So that'll definitely be my payday. I'm excited for that.
Who is, I guess, the highest ranked recruit, I guess, in any sport that you've had a chance to put them through college?
Well, we've been only open for this 2 years.
Yeah. Yeah. So
Um,
you're not gonna, yeah,
so we
100.
haven't seen that full turnout,
Yeah.
but I've taken some sophomores
Mhm.
and put them in college.
Yeah.
But I have some guys I've had at 10 years old, and now they're finally in high school.
Mhm.
So 3 years will be my first class
Yeah.
where I saw them from youth, 10 years old, to seniors in high school.
Mhm.
So we'll be able to see that full turnout. And that's usually like I don't do ads on Facebook and or Meta and Twitter and all that stuff. Um, People just see how my athletes do on the field, and they're like,
Mhm.
"Where's that kid training?"
Mhm.
And that's how people come to us for the
Yeah.
most part. But yeah, I'll get that first full turnout class, I guess, from 10 years old to youth to high school in 2 or 3 years.
Mhm.
But since the facility opened 2 years ago, we've had 80 D1 scholarships alone.
Mhm.
Um,
Wow.
yeah, so we've sent a lot of guys to college.
And that, like you said, I think they'll exponentially keep kind of
Yeah, it
Go-
grows.
yeah.
It grows and grows. Exactly.
That's cool. You got some studs in that, in that sophomore range or whatever that are coming out that you feel like are.
Yeah. I'd say I've got at least 5 to 10 guys that'll be D1 football
Yeah.
players. And now we're starting to pick up the flag girls as well.
Mhm.
I've got a few soccer girls. They'll be D1 soccer girls. Yeah, they're just at that age right now. Yeah, obviously, the more you're around, the more turnout that you get from youth to getting out of your program, and then hopefully coming back to your program.
Yeah.
My pro guys, every break, spring break, Christmas break, they'll come back for 2-3 weeks, and then for combine, we'll take our I guess first real combine class from January to March next year. I'll probably take 4 or 5 guys.
Yeah.
You train them, feed them, house them, and then I'll fly to Indianapolis for the combine with them. That's the most important day of their lives, you know. I hope to do
That's
that with other
cool.
sports as well, but yeah, seeing that payday from them going from high school to college or college to the pros is awesome.
Yeah. And knowing that you're a part of that and that development, and you know what I mean, hopefully having their mindset right as well as their body, that's
Yeah. I mean, even my youth
that's
guys,
cool.
you see it all the time. Like parents are asking me, or parents are telling me, "Hey, he was at practice and he didn't do this, and all the other kids were." I'm like, "Yeah, because he's coached up and he's ready to rock and roll." Or his running form, people are asking him like, does he just naturally run like that? I'm like, nobody naturally runs like that. It's got to be taught.
Yeah.
But yeah, even just teaching running mechanics and parents coming back to me and saying, "Hey, like everyone is seeing the way he runs." I mean, I can make someone faster in 30 minutes.
Really?
Oh yeah, like exponentially faster. That's actually going to be your biggest jump. Your first 30 minutes to an hour with me. That's going to be the fastest that you get, and then after that, after you're dialed in on your mechanics and and everything, then we make small little incremental jumps.
Yeah.
But once you learn, that's going to be your biggest jump for speed. You know, yeah, I can make
'Cause they're
anyone.
just-
I can make anybody and their mama faster in an hour, guaranteed.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's really cool. I guess how does that work?
Yeah, there's a lot that goes into it. Number
Yeah.
one is just
form pretty
looking
much
at
a
what
lot.
you got,
Yeah.
your basics,
Yeah.
and then just teaching them because there's so much that is just unknown. A lot of people don't know that you just need smooth, rhythmic movements. The one factor that Bolt took in when he beat his record is he opened his hands. Because he learned that when you close your fists, it makes your forearms tight, which in turn makes your biceps, shoulders, and he learned that he was shrugging when he ran, and everything was just tense. So when you're tense up top, obviously your center of gravity is off. Your arm swing is going to be off. Your arm swing will control your legs, so therefore his stride was off. And all he did was open his hands, relaxed his shoulders, his arm swing improved, his strides improved, and he beat his personal record.
God, he runs like he's not going that fast. Like,
yeah. That's how it should look.
Yeah.
A lot of people think that just because your legs are moving faster, you're running fast. But I can talk about the mechanics, the front side flexion mechanics, the backside triple extension mechanics, and all these mechanics. But like I said, for the youth players, just putting in them. I tell them one time, put them in a successful position. With the high school guys, I can talk to them about the science and the mechanics and how to correctly move your arms. A really fast coaching cue is a lot of players they swing side to side, which in turn makes you run on a lateral level where we want to be as linear as possible. So making sure that each arm stays on their side is very, very important. Just simple cues, and then teaching them where to strike the ground, how to strike the ground, what part of your foot do you need to strike the ground with. Very, very simple things, but it just all adds up.
Cool.
We have a couple more comments.
Oh shoot, yeah, we got a lot. All right.
Okay, so K2 Carpentry just left like a excited emoji face.
Sweet.
And then Regan Weiss left a couple comments. His first one is, "It's the beard for me."
Oh yeah, we're going through a beard phase right now. Big beard.
He said, "This man is a highly underrated business owner in this community. He should be in everyone's Rolodex or contacts. Had multiple conversations with him, and his future is as bright as it can ever be. And then he also said, I want to race Tanner Kielty after I learned the rhythmic.
Reagan, you got no
Reagan.
chance, buddy.
Well, I'm gonna teach him how to run before you guys race.
Man, me. When I took speed camp or whatever, I was one of the guys that I was really fast to like 20 yards, but after that, I'm not. I'm fast, quick, off the line or whatever.
So we
that's
teach
about
a sprint
it.
in 3 phases: the acceleration phase, the transition phase, and the max velocity phase. So that's the way we see sprinting at a linear level.
Mm-hmm. I only had the first phase down pat.
Yeah, exactly. So, or you tried to hit max velocity in the beginning, and then you're cooked. You know?
Exactly. Yeah.
Yep. So going through your phases is very important. But yeah, that could have been an issue. Just us talking.
Yep. I got one more question, and I asked this to everybody. And then I want you to give all your contact information, everything. And I know we're going to put it up on here. Jesse will put it up on here. But in 5 years, I know you're growing really fast, but in 5 years, where do you see yourself?
Yeah. Obviously we want quality growth, and that's one thing that we started baseball very quickly. We started basketball very quickly. So now we need to take a step back, really tune in on what we're doing now, making sure that our speed strength guys are still getting everything they need. But I think that we need to be in one place.
Yeah.
I think that if you can go to a facility,
I agree with that,
and get everything you need, and everything revolves around strength conditioning, and we can train all the baseball players, all the basketball players, and do everything, and have our own leagues at a very high quality level. That's what people need. That's what people want. That's what athletes need. Yeah, so I think obviously getting into that. I mean, so many people have tried to do it.
Yeah.
Generations Church tried to do it with the G Sports Complex. I say it all the time. It's not about what you build.
Yeah.
It's about who you have in that building.
Yeah. 100%.
If you have all of the correct pieces of that puzzle's going to look dang good.
Yeah.
But if you just have the outskirts of that puzzle, you try to fill it in, pieces aren't going to fit. Puzzle's going to start falling apart. So that's our goal right now, is to get all of the best people in the community around our athletes. If we can make a super team, a super staff of coaches and teams, that's what we need. So,
and that's going to be your draw.
Hopefully, we're in one location.
Whether
that's at a local rec center, maybe we can go to a local rec center and say, hey, can we rent the rec center, the fields, the basketball court, all this for this price or whatever it is. But yeah, I would like everything in one.
Similar to maybe like an IMG kind of feel to it, but
more.
And
then obviously the other aspect naturally kind of comes to it.
Yeah.
Hey, now we're offering after school programs and schooling and tutoring. You got, and now teachers are getting involved, and now we have our own grade system. But yeah, I mean, that's one thing, is you can't just blast everything right away.
Yeah.
It needs slow growth.
Yeah.
And usually it starts around the sports, the teams, making sure everything's locked in. And then the schooling will follow along, or you start the schooling and then you start to slowly add the sports.
Yeah.
It has to be one or the other. You can't just jump in full blown.
I agree with that, because you could, like you said, you could build something and it looks all good, but it's lipstick on the pig if you don't have the right people, if you don't have the right processes. Mostly people.
Yeah, IMG, I mean, obviously it'd be a similar construct and structure, but this would just be more community based.
Yeah.
Making sure that we're hosting community days and tournaments and everything, whereas IMG is a little bit more privatized.
Yeah.
And
they're more corporate and everything.
Yeah, exactly. Then players from all over the country are going to IMG.
Yeah.
So, I mean, nobody in Bradenton probably even actually goes to IMG.
No, I don't know either.
They're not recruiting in Bradenton, So I think that would be our really big focus, is making sure we're not doing that. We're staying in the community.
Taking care of your community.
Yeah, because we already talked about that. You take care of your community, and they're going to take care of you. So, hopefully we can get in one building. That'd be awesome.
Cool. Yeah, well, thank you, Marcus. I appreciate it, man. This was awesome.
Yeah, it definitely was.
Keep kicking butt. I mean, you're going to pay a lot more dividends to just sports by changing people's mindsets and everything at a young age. So we appreciate you.
Yeah, appreciate it.
Oh yeah, details.
Oh, socials. Like I said, we have Prospect Performance which is our speed and strength side of things. we have Prospect Basketball, and we have Prospect Baseball. All three have different websites. My personal social is Marcus Applefield on everything. And then accordingly, you could follow each and every site. I think eventually we'll have kind of one umbrella, which will probably be called Prospect Athletics.
Okay, I like that.
So Prospect Athletics will be the head umbrella, and then we'll have performance, baseball, basketball, everything underneath. But yeah, we're just working on that right now. But yeah,
cool. Look for them. We're gonna put it up here. Yeah, we got it up there rolling now, and so reach out.
Yeah, reach out.
Thank you, guys.